What's our desired outcome? Where are we currently? What capabilities, what skills do we need to develop in order to get us to our desired outcome?
Get things done? Join our live certified high-performance coaching session on productivity. Learn how to master your time, boost energy, and eliminate distractions, so you can perform at your highest level every day. Comment ME to get your private invite.
Comes with David Adams Speaks. Here we go. I'll tell you what, today we are talking about productivity. And I don't know about you, but when it comes to productivity, sometimes it can be the greatest thing in the world, and sometimes, man, we are just struggling, right? For those of you who don't know me, my name is David Adams. I'm a certified high performance coach. And what in the world is coaching? So many times I get this question, well, what is a coach? Certified high performance coaching, it is an influence process that leads to discovery, decision-making, performance improvement, and better living. That's it. That's what it is. It is not another one of those situations where, oh, great, here we go. We got coach again. He's just going to tell me what to do. That is not my role. That is consulting. If you want a consultant, fine, pay me to consult you, and I'll just tell you what to do all day. That's the last thing anybody wants is another mom or dad or another boss telling them what to do. However, if we can go on a journey of discovery and I can ask you questions and pull out the version of you that you forgot years ago and reintroduce you to the best version of who you could be, and then start the path and build the habits to bring you back in alignment with the best of who you are, that's what we do. All right. So today, let's dig into it because we're talking about productivity. So typically, again, if any of you want to join live, you are welcome to come on this conversation. I will coach you live. I'll walk you through whatever process you happen to be in the middle of right now. Doesn't matter what topic we are covering here. We can still go through whatever you're experiencing, you're having trouble with. And we just walk through it. Sometimes all you need is a third-party perspective. Sometimes you can't take it to the board of directors. You can't take it to your spouse. They just won't understand. You can take it to your coach. It's a non-judgmental space. And at the same time, you pay me to push you. You pay me to pull out of you the best of who you are. You pay me to call you out on your nonsense. If you're okay with that, then this is probably something that would work for you. If you're not okay with somebody calling you out on your nonsense, then you know what? You're probably struggling to work too, because you're probably not willing to take feedback from people. So that is what it is. The great thing about going live is I don't get to go back and hit rewind and start over. We just keep on rolling. So let's roll with productivity. What in the world is productivity? I hope your day is exceptional. The question I have for you right now is, what are you most excited about in life right now? What are you building? What is your passion project? What are you moving towards at lightning speed? Something where you're like, oh my gosh, you know what? I love what I'm doing, but I need to collapse timeframes and go even faster to get things done even more emphatically, that just positive projection of energy into the future, right? What does that look like for you? So let's go through some questions here. And I always do this for myself as I prepare to go live with y'all, as I coach myself through this process. And I've been through this with a coach before, and then I go through every one of these sessions before I take a client through the sessions, right? Simply because I've got to be fresh in my mind. Well, where am I in this topic? How am I progressing forward with productivity? So let's look at it. First question on the docket here. When was a time in your life when you felt most productive? Let's think about that. When in the world were you the absolute most productive in your life? So if I go back through it, I'm like, wow, the time when I was super productive. I was going to school full time. I was coaching high school soccer. I had a full-time job, and I had family at home. I was newly married and had a new baby. I don't know about you, but that's an awful lot to be doing all at the same time. And the question is, well, how in the world did you accomplish or do so much during that time period? And it was really simple. Necessity. Didn't have a choice. I had committed to things, and if you ask the version of me today, I way over committed to things. So I was super productive, but I don't think I was amazing at any of it because I had spread myself so thin through the process. And sometimes when we're in the middle of something, we never really take time to consider, hey, I want this, but I don't also want this. So yes, I want to be super successful and I want to do all of these amazing things, but I don't want to lose my energy. I don't want to lose my health. I don't want to lose my family. I don't want to lose, right? So I want this, but I don't want to lose this. I want this over here, but I don't want to give up any of my current time freedom. Well, maybe I have to scale this back because these two have to come into an alignment of what I want, what I don't want. And if they don't come into alignment, then what are we really doing? We end up having the thing. It's funny because, and I won't say funny, but it's an interesting correlation. The majority of my clients have achieved extraordinary success over here, but they've left the best version of themselves back over here somewhere. What I do is reintroduce the two, get them back together so that we're moving in the right direction together by forming the habits that really help them. Sometimes I guess you could just say I'm a chief reminder service of things that we already know we could or should be doing. And we're bringing it back to the forefront, making it important again so it becomes part of the process of just implementing those habits that we've forgotten so that we can truly become the best versions of ourselves. And what is productivity? Productivity really is alignment, our values and our goals coming into an alignment so that we are taking action from the heart. Our why is super strong. We have gone very deep and very wide with our why, right? And what do I mean by that? It just means that I know what I want. I'm taking action steps to get there. But the reason I know what I want and why I want it and how many levels, ripples wide, benefit extension, who else is going to benefit as I achieve this thing? So as I achieve the success that I'm looking for in my coaching business, who else is affected by that? Well, my clients are affected. The spouses of my clients are affected. The children of my clients are affected. Anybody, if my spouse goes to work and the way they interact with people at work, those people are affected. They go home and they affect the lives of their children in a different way. The children go to school and they treat people at school differently. They're impacted. How many levels wide on the ripple effect, the benefit extension? Who else benefits by you achieving the thing that you have designed to do? It's commonly referred to as the deepening of the why. Or for me, I love the ripple effect, the concept of you throw the rock into the pond and you watch the ripples go out, or the butterfly effect, where everything affects everything. How does that look like for you? So when we start looking at productivity and we start looking at where do you feel most productive in your life right now, and how did you get so much done? Usually it's because somewhere it was deeply attached to your heart, right in your soul. And when things are attached to your soul, then we go after it. Where do you feel that you're not being as productive in your life right now? So it's interesting when I go through this and I'm like, well, David, where have you not been productive enough? I think you've probably noticed, at least recently, if you follow me at all, you've noticed that I've started posting videos more often, twice a day so far. Every morning, every night, 5 to 6 days a week, usually not so much on Sunday, but 5 to 6 days a week, 2 videos a day. And that's not even close to being enough, but it's a new process for me. So for the first month, two a day. And I have not been as consistent before that, but I will continue to be consistent and will continue to add even more, layer on more as I decide to bring on team. So another place where I'm not being as productive is really just hiring a virtual assistant or bringing somebody on board to do those things, to make those posts, edit the videos so that I get more done in less time. That's what productivity is all about, right? Getting more done in less time, bringing team on board, delegating, eliminating some things, delegating others, and prioritizing what really are the needle movers versus the non-needle movers in my life. So we start looking at, well, shoot, where am I not being as productive? It's also filling the coaching pipeline, right? It's opening up. Okay, I've got to open up 6 more one-to-one coaching slots. And now the focus then turns to, okay, 6 slots are open. Now the marketing is designed towards those 6 one-to-one coaching slots. And then when I decide to open up the group coaching slots again, okay, here we go. We got group coaching slots. Here's 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 of them. Now the focus is filling the group slots. So it's, for me, where I haven't been as productive is targeting the marketing based on my current need in the business, right? But again, what is it for you? Because when it comes down to it, it comes down to the urgency that we put into it. And that's another one of mine, is my urgency has not been fast enough, right? I haven't collapsed time frames enough to move me forward at the rate of speed that I absolutely expect. So what does that mean? What has to change in me in order for me to move faster? And that's where touching base again with the benefit extension of, when I serve you, who else then benefits from that service? And to me, that's a big deal, which translates into a higher quality of video post, a higher quality of training than just coming on here, uploading it to a video format and having it chop it up, the AI chop it all up into little pieces like it's currently doing, but really being even more strategic with the quality of teaching and training that I do. So this right here, you know what, going live, I think is brilliant. I also think that so many people are absolutely wasting an opportunity to come on here and work through some of the things that they're going through right now, because I'm here for you. But are you willing to show up for yourself? And those of you that are watching this on the replay, that's the question for you. So, just hit me in the comments and let's go. Jump on to the next one with me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this at once a week, every Thursday, 2 o'clock. And even when I'm on vacation, on a cruise ship, as long as I have the signal that I need to do it, I'll go live from the cruise ship too. I don't care. Wherever I am in the world, I'll just go live. Why? Because it's important. I think it's important that you get to know me and that we help you solve whatever problems you need solved. So I'm not solving your problems. You're solving your own problems. I'm just drawing those answers out of you. And then another area where I'm probably not as productive is just the follow-up process. And what I mean by that is, it's the tech side of the autoresponders, the text messages and the emails and the follow-up sequences and all of those things that are required in business. It's just a matter of setting those things up because it makes things significantly faster, right? And as I finish my course and I finish some of these other things that I'll launch this year, it will be even more important for those to already be in place as I launch that. But we'll talk about that as we move into projects and so forth. But so when we think about, when we coached earlier live and we were going through a clarity session, and in the clarity session, we asked a couple of questions about what are 3 words that really describe the best of who you are and the best of who you could be. And when you think about the best of who you are and the best of who you could be, what 3 words did you write down, or what 3 words come to mind for you? So for me, my 3 words are confidence, competence, and charismatic, right? Confident, competent, charismatic. Those 3 words describe the best of who I am, the best of who I want to be. So when it comes down to really competence, well, why is competence so important? Why, what is that even about? And how have I been living into the competence word? The idea is that we put a reminder in our phone to go off every day, a couple times a day. And when it goes off, we truly are asking ourselves, how competent am I being today? What did I do to raise my level of competency today? So if we look at yesterday, level of competency, I was in a book, right? Reading Day Trading Attention by Gary Vee, just learning more about content, what goes into content creation, why it's important, how it's important, those types of things. And then the other side of it, this morning, I was on a training, just live training, kind of like this, being taught, being fed. and going back through some basic things, but there were a couple of principles I was able to pull from that. I'm like, okay, I could refocus on those things. So competency wise, I am growing my competency intentionally every single day. I have the list of books that I'm reading for the rest of the year. And I also have the live trainings that I expect to learn from, the people I expect to learn from for the rest of the year. Do you have your learning curriculum for the year? So when it comes to competence, that's where I'm working on that. Confidence. Well, we get into that competence confidence loop, right? What happens? We learn more, we implement the learning, all of a sudden our competence goes up, and then our confidence goes up, and our competence and our confidence, and it's that never-ending loop of increasing and improving in each area. Because as I get better at doing these, my confidence level goes up, but so does my competence level in doing live presentations. Again, a couple of years ago, I went live every day. It's like 450 times in a year. That's a lot to go live 450 times in a year. That's a lot of lives. But what I didn't do was there's certain things with the lives that I didn't do. I didn't have a call to action. I wasn't asking anybody to join me on the call. I wasn't having conversations. I was just literally going live talking about whatever I was doing. So what that did is I got significantly more comfortable staring at this little dot here, but it's time to take it to an even higher level of teaching and intentional teaching and training, things that actually will help you. So what does it look like for you, right? What is that second word for you? And then the third one for me is charismatic. Showing up authentically as me. Now, I will say that I was watching a program before I even got on here. I was watching a program, left it to do this because I committed to you to I would be here, and then I'm going to go back to that. But a gentleman on there, his mannerisms were that of someone else who has been around for a very long time. He was not being authentically himself. I didn't want to see him pretending to be someone else. I wanted to see him be who he is, his genuine, authentic self. So for me, I learned from a lot of other people, but I'm never going to try to be them. I'm going to be me. And that's probably why nobody's on here, because I'm just going to be me, right? It doesn't really matter. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I'm just going to be me, and you're going to love it or you're going to hate it. Either way. And if you love it, you're going to watch more of it. If you hate it, you're never going to watch me again. Thank you. Either way, don't care. I would care more if you actually stuck around and listened and type some comments in the chat and so forth so that we can move forward and help you in some way. But again, it doesn't really matter. Why doesn't it matter? Because those people who truly are interested in learning the things I'm teaching, they will come on board. They will come, they will want to learn more and move forward. Those that don't just won't. Why do I even bring that up? Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's you being authentically you is what allows you to be as productive as you want to be as you move forward. Don't try to be someone else. Just be yourself. Just be you. I think when I look at some of the things that have held me back from being as productive as I would like to be, what is that for you? Is it social media? Is it family? Is it the gym? What is it that's holding you back from really going all in on the thing that you said you wanted to do? And I know sometimes for me, it actually is. You know, it's right now I'm in the middle of 75 hard. So it's doing a workout in the morning and a workout at night, twice a day, every day. That takes time. 10 pages of a mind-altering book every single day. That takes time. A gallon of water a day takes time. But again, when we decide that I want this more than this, I'm going to do this, right? So we make trade-offs. But what is it for you? Are you getting caught up in distraction instead of creation? Are we spending so much time watching somebody else with their name on the back of their jersey instead of living our own authentic life and playing our own game? I hope that we're playing our own game and spending less time consuming what other people have created for us to consume and more time creating things that are going to creating our ideal future. right? Creating that space that allows us to have, be, and do the things that we've have decided or that we desire to do, right? So that is that piece of it. So what do you feel is really most important in your mission, or most important to you in your current mission, or in your personal life and in your professional life? So if I think of what's most important to me in my personal life, it my personal and professional life are the same. I love coaching, and I've been coaching from the time I was 16 years old. In fact, I think even younger than that. However old I was when I was in the ninth grade, right? And where does that come from? It comes from, if you grew up in our wrestling program, in our high school wrestling program, there was something the coach did every year, and that was he would create a community interaction, and the community would have all these little kids come in, and all of us high school kids, we would coach these little kids for several weeks, and then there would be a big tournament. So we would coach these little kids, and then these kids would coach them through a tournament. And it was so much fun, because what did we have to do? We had to learn the little details of each move that we were teaching these kids so that the kids could get it right. It made us better, made them better, and it gave them an interest for wrestling. And it's how he was able to build that program. And one of his famous sayings was, look, we don't rebuild, we just reload. And Coach Daryl Henry is no longer with us, but that man changed my life. He was tough, but he was inspirational. Like, the man knew exactly how to lead and how to coach kids. And he pushed out more leaders than I don't know, probably anybody, in my humble opinion, right? But what does that look like, though? Right? So if I've been coaching from the time I was that old, from what, 14, 15, 16 years old, all the way through to now, leading big box retail stores, to leading sales teams, to coaching high school soccer, like, all of it, all of it. It's all the same dress on Mary. We've got to know exactly what we want. What's our desired outcome? And where are we currently? What capabilities, what skills do we need to develop in order to get us to our desired outcome? Do we need to partner with somebody who understands and knows more about this particular topic than I do? If so, that's why we hire a coach, right? So who do I want on my team? Who do I need to reach out to? How do we build if we don't know where we're going? So let's identify where we're going. Let's also identify why we're going there, and let's identify the level, the depth of our why, the benefit extension, who else benefits from us doing and completing the thing, attach it to our highest and core values. And now we're not even working every day. We're literally just getting after it every day because it's a passion. We've fallen in love with the process. That's productivity. We fall in love with the process, and all of a sudden we forget to eat because we're so excited about the things that we're doing. Like, that's passion, that's excitement, that's joy in the process. It's crazy. I had on several occasions, I've had young entry-level workers that were doing less than, we'll just say significantly less than what they were hired to do. And they were doing significantly less work than what they were being paid to do. However, their perception was, well, if you paid me more, I'll do more. I walked up on this guy one day, and in retail, you've got to pull merchandise forward. You're trying to make things look good and presentation for the client base, right? You just want to make sure that everything looks right. And this guy he's got he's got a book in one hand, and he's using one hand, and he's just pulling merchandise forward with one hand on the shelf while he's reading his book. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, if the store director, if the general manager is finding this, then we have bigger problems than just the fact that I found it. Why didn't 900 other people in that building find it before I did, right? Anyways, walk up on this guy, and he's like, oh, don't worry. The company can afford it. Don't worry about it. It's all right. So we had the conversation, but what folks don't understand is that we get out of it what we put into it. If we want to get paid more, we have to put in more effort on the front side, and then we always get compensated on the back side. It's never the other way around. We never get compensated high, and then, oh, all of a sudden now my productivity comes. No, 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 no. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself now. Don't lie to yourself ever. We already know that if you were capable of productivity up here, you would already be doing it if it meant something to you. It just didn't mean anything to him. He hadn't attached the work he was doing to his higher values, his higher core values. But if we attach the process, if I'm at an entry level job and I'm going, okay, what can I learn here that will help me at the next step, at the next level? What are the lessons I can learn here that I don't have to learn at my next job? How do I take all the lessons and everything from this and then move it into the next thing so that we're constantly growing and improving, but not just going through the motions in hopes that, hey, one day I'm going to get a better job. Because there's just one problem with that. When you get fired or when you quit, you take you with you. And you take your current habits with you. You take your current productivity with you. So let's change that. Let's change the habits, change the productivity, do better because we're capable of better. I had a customer one day. He's like, I expect more when more is readily available. I expect more when more is readily available. And ladies and gentlemen, more is readily available. It's right in here. It's right in your heart. It's just attaching that reason why with the actions that we're taking every day. It's attaching them to your highest values. So when it comes to productivity, if you want to really boost your productivity, boost your why. Go deeper with your why, and let's go wider with the why. And it'll really help your productivity a lot. So when we think about this, distractions and competing interests, what are your distractions? What are your competing interests? What is it that's preventing you from doing the things that you know you want to do? Your desire is, hey, I'm doing this, but I'm operating at this level. How do we go from operating at this level to getting more things done and having less things fall off? So one, of course, is accountability, right? If we have some accountability, for instance, we're doing 75 hard. Now, some of us are doing 75 harder than others, and it's okay, right? Because we're all at different levels. But the concept here is everybody's going to the gym, everybody's working out. So how are we doing that? Well, because we created a group chat. Oh, it's right up here. We created a group chat, and everybody's in it, and everybody is like, okay, what's the gym plan for today? What time are we meeting at the gym? So there's a little bit of commitment on the front side, and then we all meet at the gym, we conduct the workout, and then we go our separate ways. Am I going to miss? No, I'm not going to miss because somebody's counting on me to be there unless I've planned something else somewhere else. But I'm getting those 2 workouts in a day, right? So if I don't go do this thing, then I'm doing this thing. If I don't do that thing, I'm doing this thing. But when we're going to the gym together and there's a commitment, I'm not going to miss. I'm going to show up. So if there's something that you haven't been showing up for, how can you build a community around the thing that you are desiring? Because if you can create a community around the thing you desire, you're going to do it because you don't want to disappoint anybody else that's there. Just create your own community. That's what I loved about CrossFit. CrossFit was great because it was a built-in community. And if you were missing, somebody inevitably would reach out and go, you okay? What's going on? How come you're not here? Because you're not getting the gains that you said you wanted when you're not showing up, right? So that's the importance of community. That's the importance of a coach. That's the importance of surrounding yourself with people who can help build you to what you're designing yourself to be. So when we look at, there is a PDF here. I don't know, you probably can't even see it because it's so bright. But I'll walk you through it. And if any of you listening to this or watching this are interested in receiving a copy of this, again, just shoot me a DM, or even put whatever in the comments down below. Hey, shoot me the productivity planner, and I will email it to you. I'll just email you a copy of the productivity planner, or I'll upload it to your messenger. Whatever. I don't care. I'll just get it to you some way, somehow. Just tell me you want it, and we'll find a way to make it happen. So when we look at it, though, the productivity planner, the first step is what are your next 3 major projects? What projects are you working on right now? So if I'm looking at project number 1 for me, I've opened up 6 one-to-one coaching slots. So on that, project number 1, 6 one-to-one coaching slots. Well, what are my next 5 moves when it comes to achieving that role? My next 5 moves. So the question is, what is your project and what are your next 5 moves in order of the most important one? Right? So for me, number 1 is to follow up with everybody that I have talked to over the last several years, and just to remind them, hey, I had 6 slots open. Let me know if you're interested or if somebody else is interested. So what do I need to do there? So if I've got to reach out and follow up with those people, so what do I have to do? I've got to film a video, short 30-second video, just saying, hey, here's where I'm at. Here's what I'm doing. If you're interested or you know somebody who's interested, here's my information, right? That's it. Something simple to the people that are already in my network, that know who I am, know what I do, and have been exposed to me that way. And then the rest of them is the consistent posting. And here's an important one, the consistent responding to messages as they come through, right? So let's say you're on my YouTube channel and you're watching a YouTube video, or you're here on Facebook Live and you're watching, and you type in a question or you comment in some way. Well, I need to respond, right? Right now, because my business is small enough, I can respond to everybody who comments. No problem. I got it. Now, later, I may not be able to do that as more and more people follow, and as the business gets bigger. I may have to have a VA respond to a lot of things. But as of now, it's just me. It's me answering and responding to your questions, right? So what is it for you? What's your number 1 project? What are your next 5 moves? And then what's project number 2 and project number 3? These are super important. So project number 2 for me is group coaching. So very much the same process, but it's now B2B and reaching out to businesses and coaching their executive teams in a group setting as opposed to a one-to-one setting. And then I've done some of that and I love it. And so it's time to start that process again. And the third one is to finish my course, right? Finish the course. It's an entry-level leadership course, but it's everything that I've learned from all of my mentors, as well as all the people that I've interviewed around that process, and really some things that we think will help entry-level managers to actually lead more effectively, right? Because you already know, like who gets promoted first. It's the best doer, but the best doer is not always the best leader. So we're teaching the best doers how to actually lead, instead of, for lack of a better term, being promoted and then being demoted in that endless cycle of promotion, demotion that companies go through because they never take the time to teach their people what leadership actually is. So we'll take that off their plate and we'll do it for them. So those are the 3 things. Now, my 3 projects in that is coaching curriculum. So it's yes, the course work, but then boiling it down to just coaching curriculum, as well as finishing the book, which will be the more of the guidebook or the manual, if you will, that goes along with it, and then launching the live coaching process to many. So a large group coaching process, right? So it's me to, I don't know, 100,000 people at a time, right? That would be the big vision. But ultimately, a very inexpensive subscription-based program where these folks can come in and actually get some live coaching and hot seat coaching in a group, so in a setting similar to this on Zoom, but with everybody in the Zoom room and being able to answer and ask questions and those types of things. So anyways, those are mine. What are your next 3 projects, and what are your next 5 moves for each project? The next part of this productivity planner is, hey, the people I need to reach out to today and the people I'm waiting on. So if I've got a list of people I've got to reach out to today, great. Let's reach out to those. The people I'm waiting on, okay, who do I need an answer from? And okay, based on they didn't respond, so I've got to reach out to them again on this date, so they go back into the people I need to reach out, right? It's not hard. It's not a difficult process. It's just a process most people don't think through. And then priorities. The main things I must complete today, no matter What? That means you don't go home at 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 if you didn't get it done. Right? And then your Friday finishers, what are the things you got to have done by Friday at 5 o'clock? My mentor calls them Friday finishers. Well, if you don't have that list of what has to be done by Friday at 5 o'clock, when is it going to get done? Well, I guess you don't get to. I guess you don't get to go out with your family on Saturday because you didn't finish the things you said you had to have done by Friday at 5 o'clock. So get it done. And what does that do? It instills a level of urgency in our productivity. That's the whole point. Why do we have deadlines? Urgency. We get more done in less time if we set deadlines and we work our behinds off to hit those deadlines every single time. Very important. And again, what are your priorities in order of what has to be done in order to get the results that you're looking for? So let's look at this then. Another principle in productivity is called block time. Have you ever heard of block time before? All it is you're taking your calendar and you're taking things that are like, okay, this was what I said was most important, and we're taking it from here and we're plugging it into the calendar in this time slot right there. So if I have a project, let's say it's rebranding a course, something I've been working on the last couple of days, right? Let's say I'm rebranding my course. Okay. And I have decided, okay, this project is going to take me 10 hours to do. Great. So it's going to take me 10 hours. I expect it to be done by Friday at 5 o'clock. So tomorrow by 5. Where in my calendar do you find those 10 hours to complete the project by 5 o'clock Friday night? That's the question. Again, all you're doing is blocking the time for it. And when we make time for the most important things, everything else has a tendency to just fall into place. But have you determined what the most important action steps are? What are the needle movers? What's going to move you forward? What is going to change the dynamic of the business that you're in, or in your personal, professional life, whatever it is for you? If you're working a job, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're working for somebody else, it doesn't matter. The principles are the same. We still have to utilize and break up our time based on what's most important first. And by the way, have you ever eaten your frog first? You going after the hardest thing of the day first when you have the most energy to get it done and the most focus? And then it comes into boundaries. What boundaries have you set with your team, right? So that they know how to work with you. If they don't know how to work with you and you've never trained them, then chances are they're interrupting you every couple minutes. And if you don't have a do not disturb sign when you're in the middle of your focused thinking time and planning, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? So you've got to learn to manage and balance that time. Also, as a reminder, your email is nothing more than an organization system, a great organization system for somebody else's agenda. Because it's certainly not your agenda. If it was your agenda, we'd just start at the top and just work our way down and all things would get done. But no. That email box, your agenda's over here. That email box just gave you a whole bunch of other stuff that you've got to do. But then if we do all this, does your agenda ever get done? No. So why would I not finish my agenda and then work on everybody else's agenda? Something to think about. Not telling you what to do, but something to think about. So here's a question. A dream project that I would love to start or complete. A dream project that I would love to start or complete. What is that dream project for you? The reason that project or dream is important and the reason you're committed to it is. Why is it important? Why are you committed to it? What are you going to do about it? Because if you're going to make this dream come true, what things will you have to make your priority? What will have to change? Who do you have to become in order to make that a priority? How does it have to show up on your calendar? Where are you going to place it? Somebody that I admire a lot, Dennis Waitley, and I've talked about him before just because I've listened to a lot of his programs from decades ago, back when they had programs on cassette tape. That's how old I am. So listening to those things, Dennis is like, look, he's written like, I don't know, 25, 30 books. He's like, I've written every single book that I've ever written. I wrote between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 7 and 11. So the question is, if he was a chief psychologist for the U.S. Olympic program, work a full day, come home, and write. And he would write from 7 to 11 and wrote the numbers of books that he's written. What are we doing with our time between 7 and 11? How much of that time is spent on the phone? How much of that time is spent watching TV? How much of that time is spent watching other people live out their dreams on television versus creating your dream? Creating the thing that you said was most important to you, but that television is still on. We're still scrolling. How important is it to you really? And what is that first action step that you can write down today and go, okay, you know what? I can do this. What's your one takeaway? So whatever, all the things that we talked about today, what is your biggest takeaway? And just put it in the comments down below. What's the biggest takeaway? What's the thing you're going to do differently? How are you going to act differently? What do you want to see more of in these conversations? What would you want to see less of in these conversations? If you've never followed me before, hit the like, hit the subscribe, all the things. Why? So you get more of the content that you want. It's funny because some of you are like, oh my gosh, all I get is this negative stuff in my feed. That's because all you watch is negative stuff. Start searching positive material